Right then, let's talk about Bugatti. Not just a car company, mind you. We're talking about a name synonymous with speed, beauty, and a level of engineering that borders on the obsessive. It all started with Ettore Bugatti, a man who didn't just build cars, he crafted masterpieces. Born in Italy but later settling in France, Ettore had a clear vision. He wanted to create the ultimate driving machines, vehicles that were as beautiful to look at as they were exhilarating to drive. Ettore wasn't interested in following the crowd. He was a pioneer, constantly pushing the boundaries of automotive design and engineering. He had this almost fanatical attention to detail, a refusal to compromise on quality. Every single component, no matter how small, had to be absolutely perfect. This obsession with perfection became the foundation of the Bugatti legacy. In 1909, Ettore established his own company, Automobiles Ettore Bugatti, in the then German town of Molsheim, Alsace. This was it, the start of something special. He poured his heart and soul into his creations, and it showed. The cars that rolled out of his workshop were unlike anything the world had ever seen. They were powerful, elegant, and oozed a level of craftsmanship that was simply unheard of at the time. The early Bugattis quickly gained a reputation for their exceptional performance and striking designs. They were like thoroughbred racehorses, just itching to be unleashed on the open road. And unleash them they did. Bugatti cars became a force to be reckoned with on the racing circuit, racking up victory after victory. But these weren't just stripped-down speed demons. Oh no, these were cars that oozed luxury and sophistication. Even the earliest Bugattis were as at home on the boulevards of Paris as they were on the racetrack. The roaring 20s, jazz, flappers, and the rise of the automobile. And in this golden age of motoring, one name stood head and shoulders above the rest: Bugatti. This was the era when Bugatti truly came into its own, churning out a string of iconic cars that cemented its place in automotive history. At the forefront of this golden age was the Type 35, a car that became a legend in its own time. Now, I've driven my fair share of cars in my time, but the Type 35, well, that's something else. It's a pure driver's car, lightweight, agile, and with a screaming engine that could make your hair stand on end. It dominated the racing scene, racking up over 1,000 victories in just a few short years. 1,000! That's not just winning, that's an absolute domination of motorsport. But Bugatti wasn't just about out-and-out speed. No. They also created cars of unparalleled luxury and grandeur. And none exemplify this better than the Type 41 Royale, a car so opulent, so extravagant, it makes a Rolls-Royce look like a Dacia Sandero. Seriously, this thing was the size of a small yacht. It was fitted with a colossal 12.7-litre engine and dripped with enough diamonds and furs to make a Maharaja blush. The Royale was a statement, a testament to Bugatti's ability to create cars that were not just objects of desire, but rolling works of art. It showed the world that Bugatti wasn't afraid to push the boundaries of luxury and extravagance. It was a car fit for royalty, and, indeed, several found their way into the hands of kings and emperors. The 1930s were a turbulent time for everyone. The Great Depression cast a long shadow over the world, and the rumbling drums of war were starting to grow louder. Even for a company as prestigious as Bugatti, these were hard times. People weren't exactly queuing up to buy million-dollar automobiles when they were struggling to put food on the table. Tragedy struck in 1939 when Jean Bugatti, Ettore's son and a brilliant engineer in his own right, was killed tragically while testing a Type 57 tank-bodied race car. This was a devastating blow to the company, and then just a year later, the world plunged headlong into war. The fighting ravaged Europe, and Bugatti, like so many other businesses, was caught in the crossfire. After the war, Bugatti struggled to regain its footing. The golden age of extravagant automobiles was over, and the demand for high-priced luxury cars had dwindled. And to make matters worse, Ettore Bugatti passed away in 1947. The heart and soul of the company, The visionary who had created such automotive masterpieces was gone. Bugatti limped along for a few more years, a shadow of its former self. Attempts to revive the brand with new models failed to capture the magic of the pre-war era. By the 1950s, the production lines fell silent. The once mighty Bugatti had fallen into a deep slumber. For decades, the Bugatti name lay dormant, a sleeping giant, waiting for the right moment to roar back to life. And then, in the late 1990s, it happened. Volkswagen, the German automotive giant, decided to revive the legendary marque. Now, I'll admit, when I first heard about this, I was skeptical. Bringing back a brand like Bugatti? It's not like reviving a Morris Marina, you know? This was a company steeped in history with a reputation for building some of the most extraordinary cars the world had ever seen. Could Volkswagen really do it justice? Well, they were certainly ambitious. They set out to create a car that would not only live up to the Bugatti legacy, but surpass it. They wanted to build the fastest, most powerful, and most technologically advanced supercar the world had ever seen. No pressure then. They poured millions into research and development, pushing the limits of what was possible. They developed a monstrous 8.0-litre quad-turbocharged W16 engine, a technological marvel that produced over 1,000 horsepower. They crafted a body out of lightweight carbon fiber and titanium, honed to cheat the air and achieve mind-bending speeds. They created a car that was as much a work of art as it was a feat of engineering.